We had a sweep right here of the lows. Right here, I'm going to change this so you can actually see that a little bit better. Okay, we had a sweep of the lows here, okay? And that sweep ended green. So the longs were in control by our theory, right? So if we go to the 15-minute chart for that, we will see that the 3 a.m. sweep of the lows occurred right over here, right here. Okay, basically what it did is it took out this low and then ended with the final candle of that 1 hour candle was green. Okay, we had 1, 2 greens, a red, but the fourth one was green. So by that logic, you're allowed to enter the trade right here at 49,427. That will be the first place that you could enter the trade. Switching to the 1-minute chart, you look down here, and here's the level. So now you're just looking for a good entry candle, okay? And I like, as I told you before many times, I really like to buy engulfing bull candles. And here's the first engulfing bull candle right here. About half an hour later, we get it. You could have taken this one also, but it wasn't. It was a bull candle, but it wasn't engulfing, and it was red. Actually, it just had a wick on it at the cross, 50 over the 200. So that's a possible trade, but this was the real trade here. This was the real first engulfing bull candle hammer. So that would be the entry, and you could take it up quite a distance here, 460 up to about 504. About 40 points were available on that one. Okay. All right. So that was the London session. Now let's look at the New York session, which is the one I like to trade. We had many swing highs above us when we opened at 9:30 this morning. All these swing highs were found on the 1 hour chart over here. Okay, now I'll just put this back on here so you can see them. Okay, so all these swing highs up here from price action back here about 3 or 4 days ago left all these different 1 hour swing highs up here. Okay, so what happened? The London session into the New York session was just massive buying. Okay, and then when New York opened, we had even more massive buying. I don't know if it was short covering or what it was, but here's the 15-minute chart. As you can see, the first 15 minutes saw price skyrocket up and take out every single one of those swing highs, but then end right here at 704, which was about 667. It's about 30 points, 40 points under the open. So at the 9:45 candle did not close. It did not close under the 9:30 open. It closed kind of like right there, and you can see that as just above it. You can see the bull. Actually it's a green gravestone. Kind of bearish, kind of bullish. Really depends. When you see a green gravestone down at support, it's more likely to be bullish. When you see it up at the highs at resistance, it's more likely to be bearish. So I took it as a bearish sign, even though it was finishing green. One of the reasons is that this level right here, the 633, there was a 50% retracement level here from swing high to swing low to swing high. There was a 200 EMA right there also. You can see it here on the 1-minute chart and on the 15-minute chart. And the third thing was that, see, there was 3 things about that level. 50% retracement from swing low to swing high. The open of the 9 a.m. candle. and the 200 EMA. So those are the three things. So because it was a confluence of three major important levels, I knew there was going to be a battle there. So switching over to the 1 minute chart, I was inclined to go short just because we took out so much liquidity up here and left such a long top wick. But we didn't close red on that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. candle. So I wanted to wait until 10:15 to see what would happen. So of course there was a battle here at this level where we had the opening of the 9 a.m. candle, which was right here. We had the 200, and we had a 50% retracement level at exactly the same spot. So of course these were areas where people might think to buy, especially because it was a 50% pullback off the highs. And it did bounce off the 38.382 level, excuse me, briefly. It just chopped around up here, but it stayed, kind of mostly it was closing under the 200, and it was definitely closing under the 50. So at 10:15, actually at 10:12, I'm waiting to see what the first 15-minute candle of the new 10 o'clock hour is going to do. So at 10:12, we had a big flush down, making new lows. 10:13, we had a little bit of a green shooting star. And then at 10:14, which was the last minute of the first 15-minute candle, we had another flush down. And if I put the 50% retracement back on the Fibonacci levels, you can see where it actually broke down under the 0.382, which is kind of a floor for a reversal if there's going to be a bounce off that level. And if it breaks that floor, then that's definitely true weakness. And I'll just show you that, how the first time it came down, it held the floor, and the second time it came down, it could not hold the floor. Okay, so that was a big clue for me too. Okay, so take a look at this real quick here. The first time, the floor, the 0.382 floor, is right here, this orange line. I don't know if you can see that right there, this orange line. Okay, so one floor is the 50% level, and then the next floor is the 0.382. So the first time it came down to it, it bounced up off that level up above the 50%. But the second time it came down to that level, it broke it. And there was one little pullback here and wicked above it, but closed right at it. And then the next candle definitively closed under it. So that was the last minute of the first 15-minute candle of the new hour. And now we are well under everything. We're under the 50% retracement. We're under the 200 EMA. We're under the 9 a.m. open price. So we're short. We're going short. Okay, so that was my signal. So I shorted right here at 10:15 and 6 seconds at 5. I believe I got it at 5:40. Okay, and I wrote it down about 100 points and got out at this little back test wick here right here at 55. I believe it was. Yeah, 55. So I got close to. So I think I got short at 44 and got out at 55. So that's about 90 points. Okay, on 5 contracts, that was about $2,000. Okay, so that was a great trade, and it could have gone further, right? Could have gone further, but I didn't. I just took my 2K off the table and was happy with that. So I think that was about a 1.6 or 1.7 reward to risk on that trade. That was the only trade I did today. Because I'm using this new liquidity sweep methodology where I look to see if liquidity gets swept, and then I look for confirmation that the shorts are in charge when the highs get swept and vice versa. So anyway, that was the trade for the day, and I'll call it right there.